another edition House of Cards. Today we have a Kuei Jin in the city. A new Kuei Jin. Jonathan is going to be at the night market. We'll make it simple. It's a really easy place to introduce new characters. Night market is a large square. Basically, it's a market. It's got plenty of supernatural vendors. There's some Hesian. There's Hesian Dragon Nest. There's a Changeling Freehold. So it's a pretty good place to enshrine new characters.
A lot of ambient chi in the area.
So whenever you're ready to do your intro. Yes. Because it's right over a natural, pretty much node.
Okay. Well, since I have gotten settled somewhat with my new role in the Great Wheel, after my early evening activities where I meditate and focus in on the prayers that I receive from my followers, I shall go out into the city to try to locate other godlings that are out and about and influencing the knights in Hong Kong, knowing that relationships with other godlings will impact the future of my road back as well as my cult. So if this is such a strong chi area, though I cannot drink directly from the essences, it would be a spot that eventually I would be attracted to in my wanderings. And well, yeah, if it's a market area, to try to take a look and see. I would have been aware of the market during my tenure as a police officer, though I doubt I would have been stationed or involved in anything that may have occurred at the market area. Is there anything I know from my mortal life about this market? Or it appears that I lost somebody. It appears I lost the cohort. So we will take a quick look here at what I may know about this marketplace from previously. So I'm going to make an intelligence streetwise, which is not the best, but could be worse. And because the dice roller is having some issues, I've got... I'm not experienced with doing screen shares, so I will copy and paste in the chat for Jay to see, but I do have 2 successes on intelligence and streetwise to know if there's anything from my mortal tenure that I may or may not know by reputation of this marketplace. As I venture to it. Going about in my mortal form, not bearing any of the ceremonial gear that I would wear for any official ceremonies with my cult, but I will be stand out a little bit, as I do have taken to a more peculiar dress code than the world around me, as my road back leads me to make sure that I stand out. For I'm a godling, and that is what we must do. People should know and revere and fear us. So yeah, that is how I am heading out into this marketplace. We are having some technical difficulties with the Hangout this evening. So
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I got you now.
Okay. So as you're entering the night market, you'll see plenty of stands selling various items. There's a lot of shifty-looking people at some of these stands. As you're walking in, you'll hear someone say something about selling dreams. But if you turn around to investigate further, you notice the people that it sounded like it came from are not there anymore. As you go further into the night market, you'll see there's a. Gotta think how I do this so I don't screw it up like my character did last time. There is a man standing at one of these stalls who is above and beyond the human norm for attractiveness. So just by looking at him, you can tell he's not human. He is about, God, I forgot what I put his height. He's about average height, pretty slim build. He's wearing a suit and he has a cane with him. And he has gloves on. He has short black hair. He appears to be having a very animated conversation with the shopkeeper and the shopkeeper's dog. He appears to be having a conversation with both of them.
Okay. Well, between hearing and then losing track of a conversation and then this peculiarity, I'm going to heighten my sense of hearing to see if I can pick up a little bit more. I don't know how to do screenshots with Google Hangouts, so I just copied and pasted into the chat there.
Okay.
So I have 2 successes, which gives me the ability to heighten my sense of hearing as per heightened senses. Does the dog seem to be communicating back to this guy?
Not that you can hear.
Okay.
The man and the shopkeeper are discussing a meeting with someone they're calling the Duchess.
Okay.
Apparently, the man in the suit has something to tell her, from what you're hearing.
Okay. I'm going to, well, basically, I'm just going to try to continue eavesdropping, but I'm wanting to do so in a less conspicuous way. Would that be manipulation subterfuge, you think?
I think so.
Because I want to, for my days as an officer, I want to get a chance to kind of eavesdrop or tail this guy. And 2 1s cancel out 2 of my successes, so I only got 1 success with my attempt at being inconspicuous in overhearing the conversation.
All right, so you probably you don't get noticed, but you do make some noise, but the people you're listening in on don't notice you.
Okay.
Currently, they're discussing a meeting place for this man to talk with the Duchess.
And what are they specifying as the meeting place?
The shopkeeper will not tell the other man.
Okay. So am I getting the impression that the other man is trying to see the Duchess, or she's expecting to see him?
You get the impression that the man in the suit wants to meet this Duchess, but she isn't, and she is not expecting him.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to observe for a while, just because I want to make sure that I don't necessarily breach any kind of problems. I do have some basic etiquette, and since I have not really interacted with anyone in the court yet, other than knowing that there seems to be some sort of solidarity or peace between the different species. I kind of want to know what I'm dealing with before I start dealing with it. So I'll continue being a little bit of aloof, waiting to kind of see what the shopkeeper and this exceptionally beautiful human do once they part ways.
After about 10 minutes, the man in the suit leaves. The shopkeeper appears to go back to doing his job, but the man in the suit heads straight to the building in the center of the night market and nods to the two people standing at the door and walks right in.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure, but it is a marketplace and it is open. So I'm going to attempt to gain access to the building too, to see what this is. I guess I'll find out if if he owns the place or if he's just known by the guys at the doorway. And it won't be the first place like this that I've tried to get access to. So yeah, I'll just stroll up like I've got business inside.
I don't know how exactly they have the center set up because essentially he just walked into the Changeling Freehold. And I'm not sure if it's just for the purposes of the scene. I'm gonna say there's a part of the building that's not in the Freehold, and that's what he went into. That way they'll let you in. So yeah, they'll let you in.
Okay.
But you notice as you walk past the two people standing at the door that both of them are watching you very suspiciously as you enter the building.
Okay. Do I see this unearthly-looking individual?
Yes, he appears to be... Fuck, I'm gonna have to do this, but this is how I got in trouble last time doing an intro scene. He's sitting down eating food. Here's a hint. If my character ends up offering you food, please don't accept it. I forgot last time and I got in trouble. The character got in trouble because he offered someone food.
Okay. Is that an etiquette thing or?
No, he accidentally enchanted them and basically mind fucked them by accident. And because I had a character forgot that was a way to enchant people. So I'm trying to remember not to, but I don't want the scene to end up like that again.
No, you probably don't want me addicted to gold chi. So, though it could make an ally. Anyway, so he's.
I mean, you are in the middle of the Changeling Freehold, so if you attacked him or anything, there would be changelings separating the two.
Oh no, that would be very unlikely anyway. So
yeah.
Okay, so you're sitting by himself. All right, I will. I'm assuming this is a restaurant then, or appears to be a restaurant.
You'd be like a little food court area.
Okay, I'll take up seat near him. I'll just order a tea.
Okay. You notice the man is eating. Let's see. He'll be eating just a steak, and he has some whiskey with it.
Okay. 2, 6. I'm just double checking what my dice pool is going to be on this. Not very high. I'm going to activate my ability to see the life energy in creatures. And I'm going to attempt to see what, basically see what kind of life energy that you are emanating. Low difficulty, but don't have a lot of, I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, so I fail. I'll just continue copying and pasting, but damn one canceled out my success.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty much what happened.
So I can't, I actually am not able to see any life energy spirits in the room. But I am focusing attention on you. I'm going to try one more thing, and then you're probably going to, by now, notice that there's some guy who's either way too interested in you or creeping you out in some other manner.
After the day this character had yesterday, he'd be happy for something that mundane, which for a changeling is not an easy thing to have happen.
Okay, so one success on this. To pick up on what his overriding emotional state is.
His overriding emotional state is, gosh, gotta think, proud.
Proud.
He's taking pride in something. Is it only one emotion? You can only sense the strongest emotion.
Yeah, it's actually used best in picking a specific emotion and trying to look for it.
Okay.
But it's a really high difficulty, so you don't get a lot of information when you're reading people.
Okay. Yeah, that's the overriding emotion. Is he is very proud of himself for doing something.
Okay. Well, if I lose track of you, at least give me a tip to maybe, hopefully, make it easier to follow you without being obvious. But anyway, yeah. So this guy is just sitting there sipping his tea and staring at you with a very quizzical expression on his face.
After about 5 minutes, the man will look up and notice he's staring. He's going to make a perception kenning roll. Do you have perception awareness?
I have perception, and
Because I know there's
do not
rules
have
they have
awareness
for
yet.
detecting. I know they have rules for detecting other supernaturals. Like
I
perception,
don't
kenning,
have.
and stuff.
Yeah, I don't have awareness, and because I couldn't sense Yang's spirits, then I'm not going to be able to pick up that you're supernatural unless you do anything obvious.
Okay, well, with 3 successes on the perception kenning, I'm pretty sure he knows that you are supernatural, or at least
Okay.
not human.
Yeah.
He'll look you up and down and look around the area, and then he'll just wave you over to the table that he's at.
I'll scan the room a little bit first, and then I'll get up, and if it would be proper to do so, I'll bring the tea with me. Otherwise, I'll just move to the next table and let the server move the tea and teapot. Good evening, stranger.
You're good evening. You're new around here. I haven't seen you around before.
I've not made it to this marketplace before. I've picked up rumors that this might be a good place for me to frequent from time to time.
He'll look around the area one more time. There's a place we can talk more openly. Finish your tea and I'll take you there.
Sure. You find this more constraining than the stalls in the open marketplace with crowds all around? We at least have a little bit of personal space here.
In the end, our enemies are everywhere. There's only a few places in the city that are truly safe, and the closest one I cannot take you into.
Well, it's good to know if there are known enemies about. And he'll go back to sipping his tea and just kind of taking a look at you. I'm gonna make one more roll while I am looking you over, since we're sitting here having tea and trying to figure each other out. Or you're eating, I guess, and I'm just having tea. Oh, that was reset. That wasn't roll.
I do that all the time with that dice roller. It's not even
There we
funny
go.
how often.
And I got no successes because the damn one canceled out because it was difficulty 7. So I am attempting to get a bearing on what level of dark urges you have in you, but I am not able to sense any darkness within you at this time, at least.
All right. Well, takes about 10 minutes. He'll finish his food. I'm assuming you'll finish your tea within that time.
Oh yeah.
And he'll stand up. He'll put his gloves back on to pick up his cane and motion for you to follow him. He'll take you out through the marketplace a little ways down, and you'll enter a bar. As you enter, you see the sign above. It says the Emerald Mother. As the two of you enter the bar, it's a strip club / bar. There's women and men dancing, and there's bodyguards. There's stage lights set up, and he'll lead you to the bar and sit down and order you a drink. We can talk freely in here. The mortals are very rarely allowed in here. And when they are, they're normally kept separate from the rest of the patrons.
So you mean the dancers are of our kind as well?
They are. More specifically
Shen.
of my kind.
Well, I meant Shen as in general, whether they are gods or the returning spirits of ages past. I was not differentiating. So you spoke of enemies. You obviously do not fear from within. So what is it that we should be concerned about?
There are those who see that reality should be static, that imagination should be taken. They call themselves the technocracy. They enforce the strictures of reality that are upon the world today. All of the technology humans use, from their phones to their cars, this is a product of the technocracy. Here in Hong Kong, as I understand it, I have only recently arrived myself, but they have erected a sort of a wall, keeping many supernaturals trapped, save with those with powerful magic. In response to this, the inhabitants of the city formed an alliance, the courts. There are 5 courts, and he holds up 5 fingers. There is the court of staves. This is the court of the kindred of the city. He holds up a second finger, and he puts another finger down. There is the court, not courts, houses. I'm sorry, that was an out of character mistake. I meant to say houses. There is the House of Cups. This is the house of the changelings of the city. He puts another finger down. There is the House of the Sword. This is the house of the shifters of the city. And one more finger goes down. There is the House of Pentacles. This is the house of the will workers. The final one I actually need to check because it doesn't actually come up and play that often. So I need to actually check the name for it. Give me 1 second. The 4th house is known as the Flame Court. They are the adjudicators of the 4 houses. They do not participate in the rulings of the house, so the Tarot Council. This is the house of the Kuei Jin. We united to fight this threat because without uniting, each of us would be destroyed individually. He'll gesture around to the bar. This bar is enchanted with some of the greatest magics of the woodworkers and the changelings. If you need safe refuge, this is a good place to come to. Just try not to bring pursuers with you.
Okay. I appreciate that. So, and that's the House of Cups, you said?
I am of the House of Cups. He doesn't know what kind of supernatural you are, so out of character, he doesn't know which house or court you belong in.
So, Xian, the messengers. Well, it is one of probably the better clubs like this that I've been in my lifetime. So, if you say it is safe. So the Shen of the different houses, they are officially and unofficially allied. You said we had enemies from without, but you do not have concerns with how the houses themselves interact.
He'll actually smile. There's issues in between the houses, but that is where the council itself comes in. Each house has a speaker that speaks for his house. Then there are 12 major arcana that hold the great positions of the council. The Emperor, Wan Ping, a powerful Kuei Jin, keeps the peace between the houses. There are those that are independent of the organizations of their kind who do not belong to the council. But as a whole, the council is united. I would take you to meet the council, but the war is not going well, and our temple was recently attacked. I presume you heard of the riots about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yes, a lot in my charge were concerned for extended family members.
Did you hear that the government used several advanced armored soldiers to invade a Buddhist temple under the what's the word I'm looking for? Under the guise of it being a hotbed of rebels.
I had heard a few years ago of plans to implement more sophisticated riot gear. So I'm not surprised if that's the case. The fact that they used it on a Buddhist temple is very unusual.
They attacked during a meeting of the council. We fought them off, but were forced to escape. These things, if you find them, don't fight them alone. They are called myrmidons. They're 12-foot tall suits with weaponry on them.
That seems a little beyond what our expectations were for when they were talking advanced gear. So then before I am presented to a house, am I supposed to present to the emperor of the city, or how exactly am I supposed to go about this?
The Emperor Wan Ping is a title only. He actually holds not a position of leadership, but a position of peacemaking and adjudication within the council. What type of Shen are you?
I am of the Wan Xian. I'm a godling returned to oversee the needs of the celestial bureaucracy.
I'm trying to think. He has no Kuei-jin lore, but he might have heard. So you see him literally, he starts stroking his face, thinking.
I'm not familiar with some of the terms that you used. I think from what you had said, it would either be the House of Staves or the Flame Court that I would have to present myself to.
He's looking you over. Does your character, trying to think. I think I would identify your character as a Kuei-jin and not a kindred. Because he has a bit of kindred lore.
I suppose you can I don't totally mimic humanity, so I don't have like a beating heart or breathing, but I'm not pale or cold to the touch. Actually, you know what? I would be slightly cold to the touch. A perception check if you've got kindred lore. To at least confirm that I'm undead.
Yeah, 3. If I can roll intelligence kindred lore, which would be a dice pool of 5, I can probably figure out you are not a kindred. It's a little bit of cheating, but in order to get the scene done properly, we can probably make it work. Arya's pretty chill about stuff like that. So I have 1 success. I think you'd be of the Flame Court. I don't currently actually know where the Flame Court is in hiding. We've kind of taken it upon ourselves to be quiet for now until the attack on the temple is not forgotten, but the aftermath is toned down a bit.
Well, being an educator, a peacekeeper, actually suits my destiny quite fine. So Flame Court would make sense for my destiny, at least. For my walk on the road back, however, I have been fairly rude, partly because of a lack of trust, but you have shared quite a bit of information with me. So I am Fushu Jie is the name that I've chosen with this new life that I have been given.
The man will stand up. He'll give you a bow. Sir Jonathan Black of the House of Cups. And you notice he's a very regal bearing about him. I should have mentioned that a bit sooner, but he does have a very regal sort of bearing behind him.
So you have position of authority within the House of Cups?
I am a knight under the Duchess. She is the Speaker of the House. I am of the House Ilunid within the House of Cups.
A house within a house?
Yes. He smiles.
I will admit I did not do great in history for keeping track of royal families, so forgive me if I seem a little confused on the idea.
The houses, the noble houses of the changelings existed before the Terror Accord. They are ancient. This alliance is fairly new in this scheme of things.
Interesting. Well, very well then, sir. As a knight, that means that you are a protector of the cups?
I am one of the servants of... We'll think for a second. Are you familiar with feudal Europe?
Less than I am with feudal China.
We are like your samurai. We are sworn to our lords, and in return, we hold often title or land of some sort. I am not a warrior like some of the other knights of the House of Cups. I am one of the spell weavers of the city of the House of Cups.
So you are Shen, but you are gifted or educated in ritual magic?
Not ritual magic. It is the innate magic of my people.
But you focus on that more so than some others?
Not so much I focus on it as I have a gift of the house that I belong to that enables me to be better at spell weaving than one of another house, unless they are of significantly greater power than myself.
Well, very well then, sir. Should you be in need of a champion to assist you in bringing justice, feel free to call out for me. He actually has a business card that he'll provide. All it has on it is a phone number and an address. He's like, I can be reached here.
Thank you. But you do not need to call me sir. It is only within my own house that it is even necessary, and most of the time we dispense of the need. Unlike some Shi, I am not the most stringent on titles.
Well, ritual and tradition empowers our essence. If you are a knight, then your title is important.
He'll smile. But the last time one of our kind insisted upon his title being used by a commoner, it started a war. A very bloody war.
That's okay, I'm not a commoner.
That you are not. But it has made many of us, the more wiser of my people, more reluctant to demand or ask that others use our titles outside of necessity.
Understood. We all have different ways to pay proper respects.
He nods. As a Kuei Jin, there is a group of you in the city already that I hear have formed what is it called? A Wu, I believe it was mentioned. Perhaps seeking one of them out to help you join them, to be prudent.
Do you know of the whereabouts of any of the Wan Xian? You said you do not know where the Flame Court is.
He shakes his head. The last dealings I had with the members of another house was the other day, but there was no Kuei Jin among them. I've not seen any of the Kuei Jin since the attack on the temple.
And you said that the Flame Court was mediators and educators between the houses. Yet you do
As
not
I understand
yet you do not see them frequently.
I was only in the city and part of the court for a short time before the attack. Since the attack, most of the houses have been underground, attempting to keep their members safe.
Very well. Well, if you could do me a favor to, when you do meet with the Duchess of Cups, if you could find a way to pass on that I am in need to find the Flame Court for a proper traditional presentation, it would be appreciated.
He nods. There might, if you hang around here long enough, one of them might show up. But I cannot guarantee that they will appear.
For certain. And as I said, if you need, I will make myself available for meeting out justice or perhaps even if you need a mediator to deal with a house that you are not normally contacting. If that is our duty, then I shall proceed with that duty.
He'll nod again, and I'm sure you seem one who is very good at mediating disputes.
I did have some experience with that prior to my second chance.
And I think from in character, that's enough. He knows for sure you're Gwajin now. Just so, yeah, you've made enough references to it that I'm sure he's figured out by now. If you go in the night market, there are many others of us there, but be careful. If you see black cars, run. Don't stop running until you meet one of the others of our kind. If you must fight
That's what
the
they.
technocracy,
That's what they. That's what they told Neo, and standing up to them was what worked in the end.
he shakes
And he'll
his
kind of.
head.
He will give that. He will give that grin.
Jonathan shakes his head. Those vehicles, from my understanding, have the ability to make reality static. Your powers will not work. The last time we fought the technocracy, it was not an easy fight. If you must fight one of them, ensure you have one of the will workers at your back to counteract their magic.
Well, I have heard of gifts that we have that should work as well, but unfortunately I've not had the opportunity to do so. My road is more focused with dealing with mortals, not spirits. However, it wouldn't hurt to perhaps dabble into that.
Just be aware there is always another world that is just hidden and waiting. For instance, you are not seeing the true visage of this bar, and he'll actually gesture around. It is quite the sight if you have the right eyes to see it.
Well, I'm gonna at that challenge, I'm gonna spend 3 turns, and since my life sight is still up, see if I can peer through the wall. That's only 3 dice because I suck, but I am well, it's not a freehold, so it's probably not got a wall.
Yeah, the
rating.
freehold. The freehold is right above it.
Okay, so if the wall rating is 3, I can see. Otherwise, that 1 canceled out my success.
And just for the purposes of it, we'll say you can.
Okay.
But what you're seeing is there is life pouring out of every crevice. You can't, but it's not forming any recognizable shapes. It's just overflowing chaotic energy. If you look at the dancers at the bar, they appear to be multicolored blobs moving. If you look at, did I actually give you my character's name? I don't remember if I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you gave the mortal name. I don't know if you had a fancier Xian name or not.
He has a changeling name, yes. If you look at Jonathan, you see he's just pouring out life energy. You're not getting anything like really clear pictures. It's just a rush of. It's just a black, like a barrel blazing with life energy. You just can't see exactly what.
Yes, so you are very versed in the spirit realm and spirit nature. So this is an auspicious interaction. I think we will do well to continue pursuing this relationship.
Jonathan bows slightly. If you wish to see the true form of this bar, I can show you a bit. Not the full power, but I can show you a bit that is more efficient than using your own powers.
Let
He's
me
going to
make a quick
spend-
roll to see. Wait. I gotta make a quick intelligence roll here to see if I can caution you on that. Oh, fuck, I totally botched. So yeah, I have absolutely no freaking clue what the side effects can be in character. So what do you do?
He's spending a willpower and a glamour to invoke the word. And so then he's got to roll glamour, which is 5 dice. Yes. So essentially what he did is he revealed his true form and the true form of any chimera he has on him.
Okay.
So you see where he was standing, there's a man that looks kind of like him, but with far sharper features in a deep purple robe. You notice the sleeves of the robe are dirty and his hands have what look like burns on them. He has long hair. No, I wasn't going to enchant you. He has long hair. It's braided in a Tolkien elven style with the braid across the crown of the head, meeting in the back and going down to a larger braid. The braids have gems in them. And he'll incline his head. This is my true form.
Yes. Excellent. And yet you hide that form.
It is better to be unseen in some circumstances than truly seen.
Perhaps. Someday I shall reveal my true form once I have awakened it to my followers. But for now, it is only with mundane masks and clothing that I need to have myself presented. So, to your point, it is much better to mingle amongst the mortals without attracting too much attention, especially if we have such well entrenched enemies all about. But excellent. Then thank you, Sir Jonathan, for providing me with a lot to meditate on. And as I said, reach out to me if you need help and let me know if you become aware of where the flame court could be. And he'll get up and bow to you with proper respect, since I do have some etiquette that would befitting somebody who is of your station. Some technical difficulties again, guys.
Sorry about that. I'm back. I just had to be
No problem.
quiet. I had some people going to bed in the house. So I had to be quiet for them.
No worries.
Okay. So I'm sorry I missed a bit of what you said because my headphones came unplugged.
Yeah, no problem, man. He was just basically thanking you for providing him with a lot of information and a lot to contemplate. And again, reiterated that if you needed assistance, not to be shy, and to please let him know if you discover the location of the flame court. And then he got up and gave a very formal bow to you, as would be befitting somebody of your station. I presume you have etiquette?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So as I think about this, he'd be bowing you as a superior would be bowing to somebody of your station. So he's showing you proper respect, but he obviously thinks that he's better than you.
Two narcissists enter, walk into a bar.
Jonathan will give a slight bow. It's a proper looking bow, but the way he holds himself, his innate royalty shows he's obviously the way it ends up coming out is more of a courtesy than out of true respect. Is the way that comes across.
And then Jay will exit the bar after, kind of looking around again with his life side activated, just kind of looking at all of the Yangi energy that's just flowing through everything, but also, just taking in what he can, because my roles, I didn't really get much more information, so just saw the Yang energy that's obviously permeating. He knows what Shen at least is full of life strength, so
Yes.
I know who to hang out with if I need some education in that aspects. But then I will take her out home. I will do so in a manner to avoid any kind of potential tail if anybody would have picked up, since now I'm going to be a little bit paranoid and overly cautious from your statements about the technocracy.
Yes.
And
It's good to be.
so that's 4 dice there. I got 1 success on a wits drive to make my way through with a circuitous route on my way back, and then I'll check on my shrine of my followers, and then meditate before sleeping for the day.
Okay. So that sounds like scene.
Sounds
So
like
I'm gonna thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.